So let's have a look at bar chords. So what are bar chords and why do we use them, and how can we best understand and practice them? Well, let's start with E minor. E minor is a chord. We like the sound of it. That is a chord, okay? If you want to play E minor higher up, but keep the same voicing, so voicing is which notes, which E, which B, which E, which G, which B, and which E you play. Because you can play E minor here, or you can play it a lot higher up here. So if I want to play this E minor position, okay, so this E minor voicing, but I want to play it on a different note, I want to play it higher. Well, I could have two options. Either I take a capo and I just stick it where I want, and that'll work. That's an F minor, G minor, or I use a bar chord. Now, obviously, playing around with a capo while you're playing is difficult. So bar chords are very useful to learn, and they actually came before capos to my best knowledge. And a lot of really purist guitar players actually say you should never use a capo, but everybody does anyway. So if we have E minor here, how are we best going to understand how to play E minor position, but with a different note, so somewhere else on the neck? So play it there, here for instance, or here, or whatever. Well, we're going to change the fingers. So instead of using these fingers, we're going to use these fingers. So what you can do to practice your bar chord is you can already just try putting these fingers and playing E minor like this. Okay? Actually, it's an interesting exercise for your fingers to practice doing E minor with all the different finger combinations. As you know, I love finger combinations because I think it's the one of the best things you can do on guitar. So if you go, that's a little trick you can try for your fingers. But you should really just practice doing it here with the middle and the pinky. So if you're a beginner, this might be a bit difficult. So just do like we practiced it with these fingers, but with these fingers. So you put first the ring, then the pinky, strum, then the pinky, then the ring, strum, both together, strum. And you practice that with a metronome. Once you've got that down, then you can really start to get to the next part of the thing for doing a bar chord, and that's actually the bar. So, what you can do is you can already just try sticking your finger here and trying to get each note to sound good. And that'll take practice. In the beginning you'll get a lot of clonking and clumping around, etc. And that's a slow process. You'll need to do that a couple of times a day for a couple of weeks in the very beginning to actually get the strength to be able to do that easily. Once you've got that down, then you can try putting both together, okay? Like that. Now, what you'll actually notice is that people that do bar chords don't in fact have this pressing everything and this in position. They kind of only press on the strings they need. So these are more pressed and these are kind of not pressed as much, and that's going to help you, well, because these are here obviously, that's why it's the case, but that's going to help you not hurt too much when you're doing your bar chords. And you're going to notice that our guitar players, they almost curve a bit like this with their finger when they're doing a bar chord, because it's a lot easier and it gives a lot less pressure on the wrist. So let's see now what you can do to practice bar chords. Well, you can also actually practice moving this finger here around your neck. So try and make everything sound and move it around. Okay? Now try doing the same thing but with these other fingers here. And then here. And then here. And what you'll notice is actually that higher up is easier. So if you are struggling doing your bar chord up here, then by all means start even down here. And then work your way up to the to the lower notes. So there we go. That is a bar chord. Now if you really want to get good with your bar chords, you can obviously try practicing the different finger orders. So that would be something like this. We start with the middle, then we go with the pinky, and then we place the bar. Or we place the bar, then we do the middle, then we do the pinky, and strum. Bar, and then these two, and then bar. There you go. That is the way to practice bar chords and to understand bar chords.